This is Lansdowne Roar, the voice of the fans. David Dunn here, joined by Conor McAvoy, and today we're going to be talking about 5 breakout Irish talents of 2025. And of course, as always, folks, if you haven't already, please do subscribe to the channel, to the YouTube channel at Lansdowne Road. Also hit that little like button as well. It really does help. Conor, are you ready to talk about some breakout Irish talents of 2025 that you, so send all your hate tweets to Rep Tracker, you, Conor, have selected?
Yeah.
Are you ready?
I'm ready. I must say, though, before we go into talking about the lads, I've tried to make it as varied as possible in terms of just picking. I'm not picking obvious lads that everyone knows about. I'm picking lads who haven't really got themselves in first team football action yet, or lads that state the obvious. I'm not putting a Rocco Vata, for example, or Boston Lowell, who we all know at this stage are potential stars of the Irish national team, but I want to focus on lads who are maybe on the cusp of breaking out.
So, number 5. Orazzi, 17-year-old at Stade Ram, and he is a left and right winger. Conor, why have you chosen this lad?
I think anyone that has ever seen Orazzi play, they realise how special this young man is. Going back to the under 17 Euros a couple of years ago, playing an 8 group up, scored multiple goals, a few worldies, left winger, can play on the right, currently in the Ireland under 19s, moved from Shamrock Rovers to Stade Reims a couple of seasons ago, who are known as a club that always brings in the best talent around Europe, that want to develop them and then potentially in a couple of years make huge profit on. And I see no reason why they won't do the same with IK. I honestly think he's probably our best young talent in the 17 to 20 age bracket at the moment. I think he has it all to be a potential star for Ireland and a club level. He made his debut not too long ago, just after Christmas, or just before Christmas actually, in the Cup, and made the bench against Nice last weekend. So he's really starting to go on an upward trajectory. Obviously, he's impressing coaches at Reims. From everything I've seen of him, I'm extremely impressed, and from what I've heard from people involved in the industry, in the game, they think he is a potential superstar, and he's one that I think that I made a prediction at the start of the season that he will be the breakout star at club level, and I still think he will break into the Reims team or become a regular in the first team squad by the end of the season. I really think he has what it takes to be a star for club and country.
And he has what it takes to be involved in our IBIG. That's the big one. That's the big honour. Right, moving on. Number 4. Joe O'Brien Whitmarsh, 19-year-old centre midfielder at Southampton. Tell me a little bit more. Tell us all a little bit more about young Joe.
All League of Ireland fans will really know about Joe. Joe had a full season really of playing for Cork City's first team before he moved on to Southampton at 18. He's a player of huge talent. But he's had a lot of injury troubles as a young player, but he seems to be over them now, which is great to see. He's a very technical midfielder, was in the last Ireland under 21 squad, impressed, has been very good for Southampton, made his debut along with Romeo back in October, I believe it was, in the Carabao Cup. Now he made the bench actually for Southampton against Chelsea in the Premier League. Russell Martin was a big fan of him, took him on pre-season tour. Obviously, Russell Martin's gone now, but I imagine the coaching staff at Southampton will all think the same of him, would be very highly thought of him. Especially now, I think the big thing with him is Southampton will be back in the Championship next season, which means a few lads will probably move on, or it will create a bit of room for a young lad like Joe to come in, make an impact, especially in pre-season. I really think that especially he's something we miss in Ireland. Set up very technical footballer who could actually cover ground, left-footed, but can use both feet and has good football brain. So I do think Joe will get a chance with Southampton, probably in pre-season, and then hopefully kick on once the Championship starts next season. I really have high hopes for Joe O'Brien Whitmarsh.
Okay. Number 3. Aaron Ochoa Maloney, 17-year-old at Malaga. He's a centre attacking midfielder and a left midfielder. Tell us a bit more about young Aaron.
He's probably the one on this list that's probably the most involved in first team football. He's been in the Malaga first team for the last season and a half, really. Obviously, last season they were in the third tier of Spanish football, got promoted. He played a big part in the playoff victory, actually. And this season, he's been a regular in the second tier in Spain, which is always a good sign. But obviously, he doesn't start every week, but he seems to get minutes every single week. Very good footballer, small, but very technical, good on the ball, has a brilliant football brain. And despite his size, he's very good at using his body to fend off defenders. We've seen in the the initial qualifiers for the 19s, he scored an absolute worldie, which I think really put a lot of fans on notice. Obviously, when a player is playing at a high level in Spain, a lot of people will know about him already. But what he done for Ireland is the main thing now at this stage, is seeing how he can progress for Ireland, because there was a number of years he wasn't really showing his talent for Ireland, whether he just wasn't getting a chance to show it or he just himself. But for the 19s last camp, we really started to see the development of Aaron Show Maloney, and you could see that was a lad that was playing every week in first team football. And there's definitely, I'd imagine there's a lot of interest from clubs in Spain at a higher level, hopefully not from the Spanish national team, but I think he's a player with high hopes. We should have high hopes for, especially that he's already playing first team football at 17 years old. And I can almost guarantee when the next 21s group comes around in September with the qualifiers, he'll definitely be in that, and his development will probably continue at club level, and he's one we should have high hopes for in Ireland in the future.
There you go. Number 2. Nuno Razzi, 18-year-old centre attacking midfielder, and he is at Como. Tell us a bit about Nuno.
Actually, as we record, Naz was on the bench for Como yesterday against AC Milan in the Serie A for the very first time, which is always a good thing. When you have a manager like Cesc Fabregas there controlling things, it's not a bad player for a technical number 10 to learn things from. Obviously, he made a big impact for Irish fans at the Euro Under-17s a number of years ago, along with Orazzi, and he's a different type of footballer that we have. He's a very technical number 10 who can pick the ball up, run at people, use his body very well. Something that we are missing in Ireland is a player who can just pick the ball up and you give it to them anywhere on the pitch and just know that they're not going to be phased or know how to use their body to win a free kick. So I've been very impressed with Nuno Razzi. A lot of Shamrock Rovers fans are probably disappointed that he didn't stay at Shamrock Rovers to get regular first team football there and decided to go to Como, but it could benefit him in the long run going to Como if he's going to stay around the first team. Obviously in Italy they have a ridiculous amount of players allowed to bench every week, but he's went from being in the Primavera side to now making the bench. I would hope that he'd probably get a loan this month or even in the summer or make his first team debut before that, because it is difficult in Italy. Italy's one of the more difficult countries to break through, and academy football is tough. But I really have high hopes for Naz. He's done it. He's shown so much for Ireland at under 17s, under 16s, and now at under 19s level to show that he has real star quality. I do think that once he gets his chance in first team football, he will take it, and he's another potential star. Obviously, it's all potential, but he's one that gets fans off their feet and makes you want to pay to watch him.
Nice one. And the last one, and it's in no particular order, but number 1, Jack Morouse, 19-year-old centre midfielder, centre attacking midfielder at Manchester United. Tell us about young Jack.
He's probably been one that's only really come on the radar to Irish fans in the last 3-4 months. He's struggled a lot with injury problems over the last 3-4 years. I've spoke to a teammate of his at Man United that plays for Ireland, and he said that every day in training he was always the best player. It was just he could never stay fit. He always had injury problems, and now them words are starting to come true. When you see him, he's staying fit at the moment. He put in a performance for Man United under 21s against Southampton about a month ago that had put everyone on notice. It was probably one of the best performances I'd seen all season from an under 21 player. He's a real gifted footballer. His ability to pick the ball up and drive at men from midfield is absolutely outstanding. He reminds you of a bit of the way Emile Smith-Rowe carries the ball, wriggles through defenders, uses his body to hold men off, can pick the ball up anywhere on the pitch. Ruben Amorim at Man United is said to be very impressed with him so far. He actually watched that game. You could see in person he was there. He's trained for the United first team on a number of occasions since. He was involved in one Ireland under-19 training camp a number of years ago, before obviously a lot of them injuries kicked in. Obviously, you'd hope that England try and stay away from him, which you'd imagine they will, because they don't really tend to go for lads that are playing academy football since. But he is one that I think, if given the chance at the 21s in March, we will see him blossom in an Ireland shirt, which I'd imagine he will get that chance, because when a player is doing what he's doing at the moment, getting a chance to train with the Man United first team, which is not an easy accomplishment, and the style of player he is, he's just such a silky footballer, one that's so highly thought of at Man United. It's just that he's always struggled with injuries, but he seems to be on the other side of that now. He's a player we should be excited about. I think that given a chance at Man United, or given a chance even in an Ireland 21 shirt, it could get him a loan move that could push him on to the next level, which would mean that obviously it will benefit Ireland in the long run.
Well, and there you have it. 5 breakout Irish stars to look out for in 2025. That's all we have time for on this video. Of course, as always, if you haven't, please do subscribe to the YouTube channel, and please do like this video. It really does help. And of course, you can catch us every Sunday, most Sundays, 9 o'clock live, to have your say about Irish football. Myself, Conor, and Martin, most of the time, will be on there to take your questions, to talk about whatever is going on in the realms of Irish football. And that's Lansdowne live every Sunday at 9 o'clock. Anyway, that's all we have time for. Conor, thank you for that. I'm David Dunn. He is Conor McAvoy. This is Lansdowne, and we are out of here. All the best.